It's like with these intensives, there's really that commitment of I'm here for this, and with that commitment it allows a depth to unfold. And somehow it gives me as a facilitator the yes to really move with you deeply, you know, as the same one, you know, a group of beings that come together to really meet as the same one and see what is, you know, because collectively, even in this room right now, we're all facing the same thing. We're all being called all the time. Life is calling us to those places where we meet the limitation. And it's a way of, like, what we really are as with the eyes of what we can call God, to use a word, right? Just to use a word. I know there's no God which is not looking through your eyes. I know that. This that looks through your eyes, that looks through every pair of eyes, which is life itself living through a form. This has embodied itself into this form which is limited, yet between these two bodies and these all bodies there looks like space. There looks like an empty space which is actually full of formless presence which takes a form. Right here in this space between the bodies, it looks without form, so it looks like empty space, but it's full. It's full of the same consciousness that looks through your eyes, but it's not embodied, and it's unexpressed. It's not disconnected and running through all things. So where was I going with that? Yeah, okay, so when we look through the eyes of what we could call God, this source of existence that manifests all this thing, I mean, how this could be manifested in the first place without a power of something which is unimaginable but can only be known through its own being itself. That which cannot be named but can only be tasted and known in itself. Well, the eyes of that has no limitation. It has absolutely no limitation. So when we come into a form with a limited view and a conditioning that we grow up in, we are molded into a limited view that appears to be an entity called me, separate to you, and all that's happened in my life making me appear like I am. So the difference between this limited view and the view of the one which is manifesting all of this, the difference between that view is I mean, just see for yourself the difference. So the limited view is always being taken to the next limitation, that it can open and open and open and die as a separate self, that it can embody its creator. So as Mani was expressing so beautifully that the experience of really letting go of trying to control life and make it happen and manifest when she's not designed really to manifest. But she's sitting back and being and watching those movements. There's two things going on. One is the view of awareness itself. The other is the view of the little me. And that is there all the time at the same time. It's the same for me. It's not different for me. That's there at the same time. Wherever my limitation is, where I haven't yet opened in this physical body to the greater view, it's always being opened. So the circumstances of my life are always calling me to those places, to manifest a situation that calls me to open more, to die more, to give up more, to embody no separate self as a self, which looks through every pair of eyes. That's always being made. That will never end, not for any